latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude are a very important concept to understand in geography because these, in combination with each other, will give us our absolute location. And if you think about the 5 themes of geography, the most important theme probably is where is it, or location. Latitude and longitude will help us find it. Now there's some other characteristics about the Earth that latitude and longitude will help us understand. Things like climate actually, and also time. So what I'm going to do is walk you through elements of latitude and longitude and how everything fits together to create absolute location. So, what you're going to be seeing here then is, in this really bad drawing of the Earth, I have a couple of things labeled. The Earth itself, and then also the poles. What we're going to be doing then is we're going to be measuring lines of latitude. And the most important line of latitude that we have is going to be the equator. And what we're going to do then is we're going to measure the equator at 0 degrees latitude. Okay? What we're going to be doing then is moving our ways toward the North Pole and towards the South Pole. And so the extremes then are going to be 90 degrees north for the North Pole and 90 degrees south for the South Pole. If you have any number bigger than 90 degrees, something is horribly wrong because the North Pole is as north as you can get and the South Pole is as far south as you can get. So what we can do then is we can draw some lines or parallels that go even to the equator. That'll get us up to our 90 degrees north. So I'm just going to draw in a couple of lines just to make my point. The important lines of latitude to know, of course, are going to be the equator at 0 degrees, the poles at 90 degrees, but another one that's really handy to understand is going to be the tropics. And the tropics are located at 23.5 degrees north and 23.5 degrees south. And what they're going to be doing then is they're going to be the places of the Earth that are tropical or very hot. Now the question you might have is, well, why 23.5? Well, here's why. The Earth is tilted actually at 23.5 degrees. And so with the Earth's tilt, this band is going to be getting the most amount of sun. And so we'll have the tropical regions. We'll then have the temperate regions, which kind of have the extreme summers and winters, but they have them. And then you'll get up to the poles, where you have very, very extreme amounts of sunlight or darkness, and it's very cold up there because it's getting the least amount of sun. So looking at latitude as a whole then, it's measured in degrees north and south. It's going to be giving us information about the climates, and so the bigger the line of latitude, the colder it's going to be, and we can understand our tropics from it. Okay, that's the first line. The next line that we're going to be looking at here is going to be longitude. And longitude is also going to be measured in degrees north and south. But instead of the equator, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the prime meridian. 0 degrees. Okay, and what we're going to have then is we're going to have lines that go north and south that match along with the prime meridian. And what's going to happen is every single one is going to be touching the North Pole and South Pole, kind of like sections in an orange. And what we'll be doing then is we'll be measuring in relations west or east of the prime meridian. Now the biggest extreme is going to be 180 degrees. Now if you go 180 degrees east or 180 degrees west, you're at the same place. You're halfway around the world, and this is going to be our international date line. So this actually is determining what's today and what's tomorrow, depending where you are in the world. So this international date line is very important. So we'll be measuring then these lines, and you can't have bigger than 180 degrees because, again, you're at the international date line. So taking these things together then, what we can do is we can understand that latitude is going to be giving us our lines that are measuring north and south of the equator, and you combine that with longitude, where you start getting the lines that go from pole to pole in relation to the prime meridian. And when you combine these things together, what you're actually going to get is your absolute location. You're going to get an exact pinpoint location using latitude and longitude to see where in the world that you are. And we'll be doing some things with Battleship to help better understand it. But the most important points, of course, to understand is going to be the equator and the tropics for latitude and the poles, and then for longitude, understanding the prime meridian international date line. Latitude will measure your climate because it's exposure to the sun, either direct or indirect. And longitude is going to help us measure and understand our time. So in a nutshell, that is latitude and longitude. Thanks for watching.